Sony, fuck you. Over 2 years ago when I started this channel, I was motivated with a strong passion to fight the bullshit censorship going on in the video game industry when Japanese games were being brought to the West. One might actually call it the dark ages of localization. At the forefront of this was Nintendo, and their woke model of family-friendly games. They took the sexy swimsuits from Fire Emblem, as well as stripped it of its petting mechanics. They covered up Lyn from Xenoblade Chronicles X, and even took away the game's breast slider for making custom characters. Then, at its worst, they changed entire sections of the game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, censoring the cleavage from a wedding dress, and literally erasing abdominal details, the Mound of Venus in particular, from Tsubasa's main outfit. Thankfully, the Wii U sank like a bag of bricks, and Nintendo almost died, forcing them to see the light, like Ebenezer Scrooge. Now we've got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a beautiful game with a strong waifu factor, a solid stream of Senran Kagura games on the Switch, and even Nintendo's own franchises have stepped up their sexy game. Look at the armor breaks in Fire Emblem Warriors. It's brilliant. I honestly felt like we, the fans, were finally gaining a foothold in guiding honest localization practices. If something was alright for Japan, it should be alright for literally anyone else on the planet, should they choose to buy it. Another huge victory was with Steam, finally deciding not to get their slimy fingers all over content on their platform, so games like Honey Pop can flourish as they should. But it seems we have a new enemy, and a strong one. Sony, particularly regarding the PlayStation 4. Long have I heralded the PS4 as a glorious bastion of Japanese gaming. The anime graphics are often amazing. The console is region-free, and Sony had been very accepting of all sorts of games on the platform. No more, it seems. Sony, apparently both in the West and in Japan, have updated their content guidelines for games released on their platform. The exact criteria are vague, but parts of games we were already accustomed to are now being stripped away from us arbitrarily. Arbitrary, but also hypocritical, as Sony seems hell-bent on censoring not horrible, grotesque violence and murder, but the female body. Xseed recently announced that their PS4 release of Senran Kagura Burst Renewal would be delayed so they could amputate the game's intimacy mode. From the conversation, it seems Xseed is being forced to censor this version of the game because of pressure from Sony. This means that Sony is either not letting the intimacy mode in at all, or doing so will invoke an adult-only rating. Seriously, what the hell is people's problem with petting mechanics? It's been censored in Fire Emblem, it's been censored in Danmachi, and now it's being censored in Senran Kagura. They give you a cursor, so you can touch any part of a character's body that's in frame. You can grope or poke them, pissing them off in the process, or you can lovingly pet their hair and often kiss them. This is what Senran Kagura's Peach Beach Splash intimacy mode looked like. Mind you, this game is rated M for mature. A bit of fondling seems perfectly legit for that age rating, at least when you consider all the other horrific shit Sony puts on their consoles. We just had the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is just like Grand Theft Auto, in that you can take any gun, lock onto pretty much anyone in the game, and carefully aim along their body to choose where you want to shoot them. Basically, your measly hand cursor in Senran Kagura is literally a crosshair in most other games, allowing you to punch a hole in canonically innocent bystanders just for fun. Look at Mortal Kombat. This is the kind of game that I can guarantee Sony won't censor. They wouldn't dare be the inferior version for such a popular title, even though it lets you cinematically tear a person's body in half, watching their guts spill out from within. In comparison, Senran Kagura's sexual antics are comedic. At no point do you ever actually see any real nudity, as the game jokingly censors itself in creative ways. Meanwhile, we've seen exposed breasts from Western developers in games like God of War and Dante's Inferno. And again, I can guarantee those games won't be censored in the West. Now, I'm just as adamant in my defense of violence in games as I am with sex in games. It's fiction, and the fact that the content isn't real makes all the difference. I'm just pointing out how absolutely bullshit it is when companies flip out over some exposed skin, when they widely endorse the shredding apart and mutilation of that same flesh. But you know what? It gets worse. My buddy JRPG recently pointed out that Sony of Japan is censoring its own domestic titles. A PC original visual novel called Nora to Ojo to Noraneko Heart HD is being released simultaneously on both PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. Now, erotic visual novels get censored all the time when brought to home console, but that typically only applies to actual sex scenes. Here, we have some still images of bikinis and lingerie. And what does Sony force them to do? Make God's divine light shine down to conveniently cover practically half the entire screen depicting these babes. This is worse than the time Nintendo censored Tharja's bikini body in Fire Emblem Awakening by superimposing a damn curtain. Ironically, the Nintendo Switch version of this visual novel shows the bikini pics with no censorship at all. So while Nintendo may have mostly learned their lesson, the tables have now turned, and Sony is becoming the bigoted grouch of the gaming world. Thankfully, it seems most noteworthy Japanese games are being released on PC as well, so we can avoid this nonsense. But what used to be my go-to gaming platform is now going woke and practically useless. Seriously, think of any other JRPGs that have come out in the past 2 years that are just as lewd, if not more lewd than that bikini screenshot. Alyssa from God Eater, Velvet from Tales of Berseria, two of my favorite anime women of all time, might be forced to cover up because some executives at Sony are more afraid of underboob than gory violence. At the rate things are going, it could totally happen. The fight against censorship in anime games is as important as ever, it would seem. Hopefully, one of these days, creators can put whatever they want into video games without being dictated by anything more than their own aesthetic sensibilities. Until then, let us continue to love and support the works we care about. It's been a while since I've made a video like this, so please share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe to OtakuDaiKun for more anime lists, reviews, discussions, lore videos, live streams, and the holy waifu wars. If you're interested in seeing this channel grow, please consider becoming a patron or donating in a super chat during any of my weekly live streams. Also, feel free to check the description for my social media profiles, including an ever-growing Discord full of fans of anime and the Fate series. Until next time, celebrate your fandom.